Go somewhere else. I can't take this nonsense anymore. How are you going to blame the defense?
I got the power. Screw Green Bean. Damn it.
But once you get to the sausage, I feel like we're doing something.
Go Jets.
And that's the other part of it is the people are insanely jealous of this show. This show gets the best of the best, and it does a different way with positivity.
He scores!
Ow, my head! No, come on.
What would you give up to see a Jets Super Bowl?
All of my friends and family.
Hit those milk thumbs, boys and girls.
Freeze frame.
Hold on to your underwear, ladies, and stand by, bitches. It's now time for Talkin' Jets with your hosts, Matt, Ryan, and Green Bean.
Welcome to Talkin' Jets. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I'm joined alongside my lovely co-pilots. I have Mr. Green Bean to my this way. I got Mr. Matt O'Leary to my that way. Boys and girls, we've got a new quarterback, a whole bunch of free agents. I shouldn't say a whole bunch, but a few free agents and stuff going on around the league, and we're excited to chop it up with you guys. Green Bean, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, let's welcome the Justin Fields era, everybody. I think, like most things, Jets Nation is split in half. We are polarized. I can't wait to find out what everybody in the chat thinks tonight, Ryan. That's where I am.
O'Leary, how about you? How you doing?
I am doing well. I'm. You know what? I'm a little bored today. No signings had me rough. I want to give a shout out to Jeremy. I know we give him a lot of shit here, all in good fun. But he hung out with me for 3 hours yesterday, and I was live for about 2.5 hours today. He was on for probably close to 2 hours of it. And like the biggest news we got of the day while we were live was that the Cowboys re-signed their kick returner and the Ravens re-signed their fullback. So shout out to all the Jets fans hanging with us when diddly squat happened today.
But it could have happened. And that's the meaning of free agency. It's all about the spirit of it all. Boys and girls, hit that like button on your way in here. For every 25 people that like this stream, we're going to pick a t-shirt, hat, mug, pillow, jersey, qualifier for the end of the stream. Someone's going to win something. And our poll question in the poll chat. Poll question in the live chat says, free agency so far, ... You're happy, very happy, not happy, very not happy. You guys can vote in that. I'm curious to see where everyone's head's at. Like we said, lots of feelings going on with the whole Justin Fields thing of it all. And I guess we'll kind of jump off there. I'm pretty happy. I like the signing of Justin Fields. I thought that was the direction the Jets should go, and I'll get into why in just a second. From a contractual standpoint, I think it was higher than I was hoping it would be. In my mind, I was thinking under $15 million a year. I saw Sam Darnold last year get $10 million. Granted, that might have been, seen more as like a backup type deal or like a purely competition. I think Fields probably needs to be seen as like more of the starter with the money that we gave him. We did see the contract breakdown, so we'll bring that up in a little bit. I didn't pull it up yet, but we'll go into that. 2 years, $40 million with $30 million fully guaranteed. It's going to be, look, he's the 21st highest paid quarterback, and in my mind, you have to pay to play. And 21st highest paid doesn't mean he's the 21st best quarterback in the league either. There's guys on rookie contracts that are not getting paid as much yet. So remember, even though it's 21st highest paid, it's still like a weird skewing of, contract statuses and everything like that. But overall, I do like bringing in Justin Fields. I think Garrett Wilson's probably pretty happy. I think Jeremy Ruckert's probably pretty happy. I think at the very least, you get someone who feels like they were probably slighted in Chicago and slighted in Pittsburgh. Obviously 4-2 last year when he got the plug pulled on him for Russell Wilson. I sort of felt like that was sort of the kiss of death. Like he wasn't going to go back to Pittsburgh because of that. I think we heard the contract numbers from the Steelers. They weren't offering him more than like the first year guaranteed. So we might have bid against ourselves a little bit to some degree, but I think it just makes the most sense. I think we're going from maybe it's a perceived like quarterback in Rodgers of having like everything be about him, the McAfee show, the press conferences and everything like that, even though like behind the scenes, the locker room stuff was good and the numbers, for the most part were really good. And I don't think we're going to see passing numbers like we saw last year, unfortunately. But I think the mindset of Fields is very important. Now, do I think it's going to work out long term? I think the percentage chance probably isn't crazy high, but at least with Fields, there's a chance. And the players do like that. I feel like if you go with a Mariota or you go with a Wentz, it's very clearly like a tank. This, to me, has all the value of showing the players that you care and you're trying to win and you're trying to do something right now and have a long-term answer, while also giving yourself a low floor potentially with Fields to bottom out and get a quarterback in 2026 if that's the direction they do want to go. And since he's under contract for 2 years, you basically have your Tyrod Taylor bridge quarterback for next year as well. So I do like the signing a little bit more than I wanted. Contractually, like from cap standpoint, not crazy. I think next year probably hurts maybe a little bit more because they pushed money off, but I overall like the signing. Matt, throw it to you. Your thoughts on Justin Fields?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you Justin Fields in a second, but while you were talking, I saw some news that is not very surprising and kind of funny. So Jason Pinnock, former Jet and Giant, goes to San Francisco to be with Robert Saleh again.
Solid.
He loved him. That's not really a surprise at all. But saw that come across the screen and go, okay, yeah, that makes some sense. So for Justin Fields, for me, I liked the contract. It was more than what I thought it was going to be, but everyone gets so concerned when they hear the 2-year, $40 million. They immediately go, great, his cap hit's going to be $20 million. Doesn't work that way. Guaranteed money is certainly important in this, and his cap number this year is $8 million. Now, it goes up to 23 in 2026, which seems like a lot, but $23 million for someone who could be a starter is about the going rate. Daniel Jones got a 1-year deal that could go up to $18 million today. I think Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones is, and in all likelihood, the Jets will have a young quarterback, a rookie quarterback on their roster next year. So he's going to be on a cheap deal with the contract. So you could afford to have someone, a veteran behind him, or maybe even starting in front of him if you wanted to sit the rookie for a change and not toss him right in there to play in Justin Fields. And the void money, like the $9 million in 2027, I've seen some people complain about that. Like, it's 2.9% of the cap now. What's it going to be 2 years from now? We're talking like a fraction of a percentage of dead money on it. Like, it doesn't bother me. It's really not a huge deal. If he turns out to be the franchise quarterback, fantastic. That's not my expectation. I think he's going to come in, be the bridge guy. I think he'll be okay. But something else that I like about this too is we know what the Jets are going to be. They have an identity. With Justin Fields as their quarterback, we know they're going to be a run-first offense, and they're going to play physical defense. At least you're going into this year kind of understanding what they're going to be as a team. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think you hit on a lot of points. The 2.9%, percentage right now for that cap hit in 2027 is going to look a lot different because the cap's going to go up about $40 million. You're talking the last 2 years has gone up $20 million a year. With streaming contracts, you kind of expect that to consistently go up. I think you hit the nail on the head. Bean, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the Justin Fields signing?
Well, here's why the $9 million is it shouldn't even be what we're talking about. We're a bunch of nerds. We're a bunch of nerds talking about $9 million in 3 years, everybody. Cut it out there. It's not going to matter. Like Matt said, the cap goes up every year. This is going to be 1% of the cap in 3 years. But on top of that, it's not going to matter because I have chosen to buy in 100% on the chip on his shoulder, 26 years old, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception in a 4-2 record last year, played a very efficient football, 7 touchdowns through the air, 3 touchdowns on the ground, which we're not used to seeing. Engstrand wants this type of quarterback in his offense. We have Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, and Justin Fields with their feet on the ground with the ball in their hands. Justin Fields has a successful history with Garrett Wilson, even made Jeremy Ruckert look good. Imagine if we rekindle all that. I've chosen to buy in 100%. By the time that $9 million becomes an issue, we're going to already have re-signed him because we found our quarterback. He's going to be here for 10 plus years. That's the way it's going to go. I've chosen to buy in. I'm happy with it. Everybody else out there was dog shit. You don't get rid of Aaron Rodgers and bring in fucking Kirk Cousins. It's dumb. We don't do it. We have a young guy, and it's going to work. That's the way it's going to be. That's how I feel about it. I'm in. I've bought in entirely, Ryan. $9 million in 2027. What do we care?
Thinking's overrated. JJ has me getting a little fired up right now because he says, with his $5 super chat, thank you so much, the fact that Mike Tomlin wanted him out of Pittsburgh ASAP speaks volumes. Kick rocks. What smart decision has Mike Tomlin ever made at the quarterback position? Give me one. None.
They tried to re-sign him.
He tried to re-sign him. Kenny Pickett was drafted. Russell Wilson kind of looked like dog water. He inherited Big Ben. He literally has done jack for quarterbacks. There is no value in his opinion of the quarterback position. Good coach, fine. Great defense, yes. Are there issues with Justin Fields that I can nitpick on? I shouldn't even just say nitpick. Like there are very clear problems. Multiple turnover-worthy plays that did not turn into turnovers. Lots of fumbles last year. I think it was 6 fumbles. Only 1 was recovered by the defense. Everything else went back to the offense. Like, there are going to be headaches and hurdles that happen with Justin Fields. But, man, Mike Tomlin's opinion does not matter to me at all with the quarterback. Tigo got me fired up last night. I was like, we were angry.
Yeah, you're still going today, man. And I get it. Not everyone's a Fields guy. And he's going to be a bridge. This isn't the quarterback you're signing up for 7 years, most likely.
This is the guy. He's the guy.
I believe it until he's not.
Right.
JJ
if
says
he sucks, if he ends up sucking, it's perfect. You understand?
He's 29 ranked since 2021. So are you trying to tell me that the Bears and Mike Tomlin have had really good history with quarterbacks? Not that we have either. Like, this might be calling the kettle black, but like, dude,
yeah, hello.
I'm very much like, I see where they're trying to go. They very clearly watched the Eagles win with a ground and pound team and have a quarterback that could just operate efficiently. Last year, Justin Fields operated efficiently in what he was like asked to do. Last year, let me see if I do I have his percentages.
Pull up his completion percentages and everything for last year.
65.8%. You know what? Let me pull it up in another spot too, because I really, really like adjusted completion percentage, because I feel like that gives you a better indication of how accurate someone is on a consistent basis, more than just completion percentage. Completion percentage matters, but it takes into account the dropped passes and throwaways as well. And for Justin
real quick,
Fields,
while you're doing that, Ryan, is Nightbot not with us?
Ooh, is Nightbot not with us? Let me double check.
Oh yeah, nothing's happening over there. But while you guys are working on that, I have something to throw in the mix, and I don't want this to be like, oh my god, like Matt's the biggest Justin Fields guy. I think he's probably 29th might be harsh. I was gonna go 25, but we're splitting hairs. Did he not have a better passer rating in QBR than Aaron Rodgers last year? Like, does that not factor in? I'm not saying the guy's great, but
I'll be honest, I did not know that, and I love it. That's a great stat. I'm a fan of this.
Remember when we used to say, we've said this for 3 years, if Zach Wilson can just give us 65% completion percentage, this team is good enough to. Remember, we would say that for 3 years. We said that, and he was like 58, 56. Like, it's fucking, dude. 65 is fine. Did you find it?
I have it. I'm just trying to figure out. Try typing in winner again. See if that comes up. I had to reconnect it for some reason.
Let's see. We want to make sure that the spinny wheel's exciting later. Got to make sure you guys get your spinny wheel.
Come on, Nightbot. Pop in there.
Oh, she usually hops in by now. A little bitch.
Come on.
Interesting. All right, so
sleeping on the job over here.
We're gonna do. Let's just pull random
Maybe
people
I
from
just
the chat at that point.
I'm gonna pick
until
some
I can figure it out.
randos.
I don't
How's
know why
that?
it's not working. It was working last night.
I'm gonna pick some randos. First rando. You want to know who it is?
Blitz Crew donating 5 Talkin' Jets memberships. Thank you, Blitz Crew. Tony Alexio, Philly's Limp Noodle, J Dubs, Yeetsus Deleetsus, all getting memberships courtesy of Blitz Crew. Did I miss someone in there? I feel like I missed someone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and Green Bean. Green Bean was gifted a membership.
Hey!
Rigged.
Thanks, Blitz Crew. Yeetus Deletus got a free membership on my channel last night.
I like it. Spreading the love. Thank you so much, Blitz Crew. JJ comes in and says, go get Tanner McKee or another young quarterback to with a chance to get there. I hate this so much. It's like prison love. So I would say this.
My
Tanner McKee and Joe Milton and, some of the late round swings that happened last year, that's fine. I understand that. None of those guys played with Garrett Wilson and Jeremy Ruckert. Like, they want to have hope this year. For me, I am more of the opinion that having the rest of your team feel like they have a guy that they can turn to in a leadership role, like Garrett Wilson being a leader here, if he feels like Justin Fields is the dude, at least for a year, like until you're trying to get this dude locked up and signed, like I am okay in a season that I was pretty confident we were just going to be bottoming out in rolling this kind of die. I want to be the team that gets the benefit of Geno Smith. I want to be the team that gets the benefit of Sam Darnold. This is the type of swing you do. Like McKee, you might have to he might be all right. It's possible. Cheaper, is he an option? I don't know if he was, on the market to be traded or anything like that. But I think Fields is the leader of men that I don't think Tanner McKee can be just year 2 of his NFL career.
Dude, you're not allowed to have more than one Tanner on a team. That's what I heard.
Oh, true. They already have Tanner Engstrand, so
that's right.
That's true.
McKee, get out.
Yeah, imagine trying to call in and play Tanner. We need you to do this. What? Who? Huh?
Yeah.
Who's doing what?
Right. We can't have that confusion on the team.
Absolutely not. We're perfectly capable of being confused by ourselves all the time.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Jolt Music comes in and says, Tomlin is a terrible offensive talent assessor. Fields has a lot of upside. The new regime showed competence here. Look at the Browns, Giants blowing in the wind with no quarterback. Adults are in the room. Look, I'm not going to lie. I'm not crazy high on free agency overall. I think Fields was the right move. I'm really irked that Javon Holland went for as little as he went for. I thought that should have been a move the Jets made instead of Cisco, who we got. It's not clearly it's like a different type of contract, but I think we missed out there. Not getting Morgan Moses back for $8 million a year, I thought was a serious issue for me. Cornerback wise, getting 12 or 13 million a year with Stevens. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm very lukewarm on this free agency overall, but I think Fields was the right move to make at the most important position this offseason. Matt, what are your thoughts overall on what we've done so far?
So Fields is one that a lot of people had connected to the Jets and was kind of an obvious choice. The other two I kind of feel like came out of left field. I don't think anyone was talking about Stevens or Cisco to the Jets. Cisco, I think, has some upside. He's still young. He's only 24 years old. Last year was a down year for him, but the 2 years prior, he had 7 picks. And it'd kind of be nice to have a free safety who could create some turnovers on the back end. They still need a strong safety, which is kind of why myself and Jeremy's been a really big proponent of signing Justin Reed, who signed, later on going to the Saints to pair up with Tyrann Mathieu. And he got $10.5 million a year over 3. That's one that I would have liked to be the Jets be on. Stevens doesn't do it for me, right? He had a ton of issues last year, gave up a lot of yards, was picked on, penalties a problem. The only thing I'll say there is that last year the Jets signed John Simpson that no one was really all that big on. And he struggled for, the few years that he was a starter before coming to the Jets in his mid-20s, and then he was able to figure it out. So that's kind of the hope, right? Is that, you're banking on the athleticism and the physical upside that Stevens has, and that the Jets could be able to coach him up. It's a bit of a project, an expensive project, but that's kind of the hope there.
Did you see Simpson on Twitter about that?
I know he's been going back and forth with Buffalo Jet fans, because Buffalo Jet fans had a great little spiel saying we need a bunch of John Simpson-esque hires, guys that you're not paying crazy money to, but you're getting production that outlasts their contract.
Yeah, so that was some of it. And then somebody else wrote something, did the same thing, like put a picture of him and said a lot Jets fans were upset when they signed this guy last year, and he said something like, "Man, I'm getting cooked out here on Twitter today." So it's like he was having some fun with it. But it's such a great point, man. I mean, look, there are big names, that you can get, but traditionally speaking, if we just look at our history, we have gone big name, hunting many, many times. It's really what we do more often than not. And it rarely works out, dude. Let's fill some holes with guys like then I don't want to say mids, but guys that are talented, guys that are young, that they can coach up and just start building this team. Like, I actually like it. I think getting the quarterback, and look, you guys know, I'm not a big Justin Fields guy. I'm choosing to buy in. There's a lot of reasons to be, lack of a better word, excited about it. There's a lot of potential there, but I like how they're doing this. I'd like to get out of this whole free agency period +1 in the comp pick thing. Or at least +1. I'd like to see us start factoring that in. Like, is signing, 𝐿 𝐾INLAW for 3 years, $45 million better? Like, and this is, imagine, we're usually the team doing that. Is it better than getting a free 4th round pick next year? Is it worth it? So weigh that shit out, get in, free agents that are priorities, and then sit and settle, man, and just go to the draft, wait and see what's going on out there after that, and just plug some holes this year and start building your team. Don't swing and sell the future, so to speak, for guys that really, just because they got a little bit bigger name than the other guy. I think a slow and steady roll right now is really more of what the doctor ordered, even though, like Matt said earlier, it's boring when you're trying to hang out and have some fun. But I think it's smarter.
I like the comp pick stuff. Comp picks were released by Ian Rappaport earlier today, or at least I saw him on the tweet. Giants got like a high 3rd. I think the Vikings got the highest 3rd because of the Kirk Cousins thing. Dolphins got a few nice picks in there because they lost a few key guys last year. Would love to see the comp pick play into this more. I'm looking at this Browns-Giants blowing in the wind with no quarterback. Look, the Browns they're shit out of luck this year. Like, I'm sorry. They're no Deshaun Watson. That contract is just destroying them. I think that's part of the reason they're, I don't know. They got 2 years of waiting. They're going to wait. They're going to punt on quarterback this year. They're probably going to go quarterback next year. And then as far as the Giants go, I think they're going to wind up with Russell Wilson. And then I think A-Rod's going to end up with the Steelers. It just makes too much sense. I'm pretty sure the Steelers play the Packers next year, and they definitely play the Jets. I think it's in MetLife too. Like, there's going to be this whole Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers, Monday Night Football opening day they're going to play it up. It's going to be like, here we go. Here's the air horn. That's what's going to happen. We're going to see it.
He's going to do well up there, by the way.
I think he's definitely going to do well. I think that's a team that's in a good spot for him. I think there's also the potential of Tomlin getting canned because of Aaron Rodgers. Like, if things blow up after a year or two. I think
that's more likely than Aaron Rodgers having success there, depending on what we define.
I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to make the playoffs, and I think they're going to at least win a playoff game. I think with Rodgers and that team with DK, and because the optimistic side of me with Rodgers saw, no Tyron Smith at left tackle. You saw Olu. You saw the change in play caller. You saw the Rodgers starting to get healthy, and that's with a semi unmotivated team at the end of the year, and you saw it start to click post bye week. So I think glass half full sees, the upside there with the Steelers or potentially the Vikings or wherever he winds up. But I could also see the floor come out too. Like, all the Pat McAfee stuff, I don't know if he's going to be doing the same thing, in Pittsburgh, if they're going to want to do that.
The offensive line stinks. And last I remember, Aaron Rodgers can't really move all that well at 42 years old. I think the wide receivers are going to be at each other's throat by week 5.
Now, I got a question about our own offensive line, because is there a chance Rodgers made our offensive line look better because he was a little more decisive, even though he couldn't move? Like, are we maybe overestimating our offensive line to some degree because of that? I guess, Green Bean, I'll ask that question to you.
Well, no, I think that Aaron Rodgers was not decisive. I think there was a lot of times that you saw him not take the guy over the middle, or that, many times, like he did like these little pumps more than I've ever seen him. Granted, look, I'm not going to pretend I watched every Aaron Rodgers game, right, throughout his career, but he was known for being very decisive, right? I saw a lot of, I don't think that he did anything to make the offensive line look better. In his defense, I think the offensive line didn't really look all that good until Tyron Smith was gone. Tyron Smith was an absolute liability last year. From the first game to the last till the last snap that he played for us. Once Olu came in, it settled down. But I don't know if I would say that, like that Aaron Rodgers made the offensive line
that was more
look better than they were.
That was more posed as a question. Like, do we think, like, because I feel like I find myself consistently like saying 4 out of 5 guys are coming back. Like, this O-line's good, and it might be better. And I think we're probably getting more towards the Zach Wilson side of like maybe holding on to the ball too long. That might cause our offensive line to look a little worse than maybe it would with a different quarterback potentially with Fields. But I think you're right. I think that obviously a second year with this whole unit together is going to help them as well too. So there's a lot of positives. It wasn't me like poo-pooing on it necessarily. Just
I heard it as a question. That's why I think what I said was an answer. I wasn't.
No.
I wasn't saying. Yeah, I wasn't
gotcha.
saying that you said. I was just answering my thoughts.
So
that's the way it should go too. You ask a question and I answer.
Dude, Tigo and I were like at each other's throats last night. That was one of the more heated like exchanges I've had in like some time, and it was fun. Like we had a good talk like for an hour after the show ended. But dude, we were like fucking. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me! I can't believe you're saying this.
Yeah, I watched it. I ended up. I had you guys on for about 20 minutes or so before the show. It was great. It was fun.
Sodak comes in, says, I don't know anything about Stevenson other than his PFF numbers and the Ravens fans' comments, but I'd rather pay a proven Reed an extra $4 million and try to fix below average cornerback play. So the thing I will say about the secondary hires or the secondary acquisitions that we've made the last 24 hours, I'm viewing it through the lens of Aaron Glenn being a former defensive back. And in the same sense of like, D-line and linebackers were kind of Ulbrich and Salah's like bread and butter for our defense. I think you might be able to see elevated production out of guys that maybe were not seen as maybe as attractive as a Reed or as a Javon Holland or something along those lines. But yeah, I on face value, Sodak, I 100% agree. I think I'd definitely prefer Reed, given the financial difference there. Matt, anything to add?
Reed wanted out though, too, Ryan.
Correct. Green Bean took the words out of my mouth.
I thought he was. You know what? I'm an idiot. I'm thinking of not that Reed. Justin Reed.
You were thinking of Justin Reed.
That's where I was thinking. Yeah,
and that would be Cisco. Yeah, because they got similar money.
I'm thinking just DBs in general, but yeah, DJ Reed. I think I agree. He wanted out, and it just it was over with us. I'm glad we didn't go after Carlton Davis for $20 million though. I'll say that much.
No, Patriots are throwing crazy money around like at Carlton Davis and that defensive tackle who they gave $26 million a year to. But I was just gonna say, like, sure, if we're taking the like the person out of it and just looking at the stats and the production, yeah, DJ Reed is without a question a better cornerback. I think he was done. I don't think he wanted to be here anymore.
Being anything more to add to that?
I forgot what we were talking about.
DJ Reed.
DJ Reed. Holy
more.
Shit, man! You know why? Because I was answering a comment. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You got to remember, like Reed made it very clear. He was not only, and he was very complimentary on Twitter. He wrote up things, thank Woody Johnson. You changed my life, and I, appreciate everybody. So that's really nice. But he made it was no secret. I think the way he said it was, I'm excited to enter free agency. Yes. Like, I want to go out there. Last time he wasn't really a known commodity. You know what I mean? He was, from nickel to outside. There was all that, he's a bona fide, starting, like high level starting cornerback in the league. And quite frankly, I want to go see what my value is out in free agency. I'm done. I want to go out there and I want to test new waters and maybe even play for an organization that's not rebuilding again and all that kind of shit. So that's the other piece. You know, you gotta remember it takes two to tango, everybody. He wanted out. So look, I think that's the biggest hit. You know, out of everybody we lost, when you look at Redick, Moses, I would have really liked to see re-signed as well. And we'll probably talk about him. But like, Kinlaw, Solomon Thomas now, right? Redick and everybody. Like, I'm not really, okay, great. But Reed, we're gonna feel that one no matter how you slice it. He was a badass, man. Very, very solid, great team guy, leader in the locker room, all that kind of stuff, real fiery. So it's gonna suck, but he wanted out. So it's not like we should have done this because of that. He wasn't on the table for us. So we got to remember that.
We got Eric dropping in with the 20 spot. Thank you so much, Eric. Says, I'd like to thank Mel Kiper Jr. for frightening our management with his 2.0 mock draft. Let's do for Fields what we didn't do for Darnold. Get him some help. Now, what he's referring to there is Mel Kiper put out his 2.0 and had the Jets taking Sanders in the 7th spot. I do not think that is going to happen, which, I mean, I guess I'm happy for. I don't particularly want Shedeur Sanders. But yeah, look, we should absolutely surround Fields with as much talent as possible. And I do think that I'm excited for Fields and Braylon and Brees to be on the field at the same time and to actually embrace like an RPO style offense. That's what I want to see. And I want to see them put so much stress on defenses because I think that's part of the calculation that Aaron Glenn made. He got to see, and Engstrand got to see Fields across from them on like when Fields was in Chicago and they were in Detroit. I think there's something to them having to game plan against him where they might know how to utilize him to his talents better than maybe the Bears or the Steelers were able to kind of figure out. So, yeah, I 100% agree. Matt, how do you think we could surround Fields with more talent? What would you like to see done?
They need to start getting some wide receivers and tight ends in here, man. Juwan Johnson goes back to the Saints, so I think that, I would try to bring back Tyler Conklin and look to draft a tight end. And at wide receiver, that is, outside of Tim Patrick, it is thin at wide receiver right now. So I don't know what the plan is, but that'd be my next step for helping the Jets offensively.
Bean, what would you do to surround Fields with more talent? What's your game plan?
Oh, man. So I got to tell you, number one, I still want to trade back. There's just so much you can do in this draft, right? But if you can't, I'm all about. I love the idea of Ted McMillan or Ty Warren at 7. I'm like totally fine with that for the reasons that Eric's talking about, right? But I got to tell you this. I like the idea of trading back and bringing in like Ibuka, like getting an extra second and grabbing Ibuka and kind of continuing this Ohio State thing. Like load up, man. Like just buy in, just eat the whole sub sandwich. You know what I mean? Just do it. Lock it all up. Give them their kind of school chemistry and all that shit. I like that whole idea. And then again, trading back so you get more opportunity to build around him. Now, we can't forget the defense, but yeah, man, I think right tackle's got to be taken care of. And look, I've heard you talk about it, Ryan, and some others, the idea of like, hey, if we don't like the tackles in this draft, and in like the mock I did last night with Dom and Jake, Membo and Campbell were gone before 7 anyway. So like, let's say, you don't really have an opportunity to get a tackle. You can really focus on the interior and move AVT out. And maybe that's another route to go. But either way, making sure that the offensive line is there, like that, we're not just the final piece. We're hoping that Max Mitchell is going to be the guy. Like, I don't want to go season. That was one of the rubs I had with Joe Douglas. Like, we're going into the season, and we have Mekhi Becton at right tackle. He's forever been injured. And Jerome? Brown? Was it what was his first name? Was it Jerome? Dwayne Brown. It's like you don't go into a season like that. So I would like to see them make sure that the offensive line is intact, get him a good tight end, which there are plenty in this draft. Doesn't have to be at, in the first round. And you get him a good wide receiver to pair with Garrett Wilson. We got the running game. I don't know. I don't think it's not that difficult to do exactly what Eric is talking about here. And I think we can.
To give you guys more specific answers on how I think I'd like to see the Jets build around Fields, I like what both of you are saying. I think tight end, wide receiver are two major things. I love the idea of bringing Conklin back based on what's left on the market. I really like the idea of, I think Tim Patrick should be brought in. I think it's going to be relatively cheap. I don't think anyone's going to be jumping through any hoops to try and get him. I would be interested to sniff around the Chris Olave situation, see if there is any legs to potentially moving him, and what would that package need to look like with the injuries. That wouldn't prevent me from necessarily going receiver high. I'm still good on Ted McMillan. I would do that. I would say I'm gravitating more towards Membu at 7 right now. If you can trade down and take Igbukah, or if Membu somehow makes it that far, or Warren, I think I would prefer the trade down more than anything and getting that additional second-round pick that Bean was mentioning. But I think wide receiver and tight end are just such huge needs for the Jets right now, along with right tackle. Those are the 3 positions you need to address between now and opening day. If you don't address those, you have done Fields and the rest of this team a disservice. All right, I'm going to read the next super chat, and then it looks like I'm the one getting frozen. Shocker here. We got Blitz Crew coming in. He says, re-sign Eccles for cornerback 2 competition. Won't count against us for comp picks calculation. With Moses, Reed, Reddick, Ashton, Kinlaw contracts with Cisco, Stevens, and Fields against us, we will be getting picks. Hit those milk thumbs. Boys and girls, I'm going to throw this one to Green Bean first so he can respond, and then we'll go to Matt, but I will be frozen.
All right, re-sign Eccles, Matt. That's what he wants to do. I'm in. I like re-signing Eccles. Keep that whole. So think about it. As far as the cornerbacks go, all we did was change one piece in the cornerback room. I like that. Clearly more work to do in the safety area, so I like that. And right, he doesn't count against comp picks. If we re-sign our own players, that's well done. But here's the thing, dude. And Matt, I would love, we didn't really get a chance to talk about this outside of the chat. I can't believe, he's bringing up, Moses, Reed, Reddick, Kinlaw. And I believe what Solomon Thomas got the contract, 2-year contract today, right? Didn't he get? Yeah. So the idea, dude, we're used to seeing our players go out there. I mean, one big contract, but they get these chump change contracts. So the best we're going to get is a 6th or 7th round pick. We've seen a few of those recently. These are really 4th round, 3rd round pick range as far as the comp pick formula goes. Now, granted, 3 of them are nullified, but I would love to see us stay ahead of this, because it is an opportunity to get a free 4th round pick, or even, God forbid, a 3rd round pick. So I like the idea of kind of re-signing some of our own. Ryan brought up Conklin. I mean, look, either way, he's going to get a decent contract out there because he doesn't suck. And, he'll, if he gets signed, that'll be another one that counts toward it. But I'm all about re-signing him and still taking one in the 1 or 2 in the draft. But trying to stay plus in the plus category. You see teams like the Ravens. Bill Belichick did it with the Patriots every single year. There were years that he had 2/3 and 2/4 for free. Imagine that going into the draft. You got 3/3, 3/4. Come on. And thinking like that, balancing that out. Is this guy I'm going to sign really worth losing that potential 4th round comp pick when I could just wait it out and get somebody that's on the same tier afterward? You got to make sure that the guys you're signing are really worth it. What do you think, Matt?
I agree with that. I think it makes a lot of sense. I was just going to bring up, when you mentioned it, the Ravens as the perfect example. It feels like every year they're loading up on these comp picks. They let their guys, they pick their core that they want to build around, but they let the John Simpsons, the CJ Mosleys, those guys hit free agency. And then we're usually the team scooping them up and paying above asking price and not getting any comp picks. So it would be a different approach, one that the Jets don't often do. But I'm on board for it. And Look, I don't think you're saying, and I'm not saying like that you can't add anyone else, but like you have to continue to add more. And I don't want to go just all into the draft with these 3 moves as the only 3 things that they do. But there's ways for you to get creative about it. So that's kind of what I'm curious to see how Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji take their free agency approach with the comp picks in mind.
Comp picks are huge. I mean, we've seen even the 49ers just by way of, I guess it's not necessarily a comp pick, but having coaches signed away from them as well. D'Amico Ryans, Robert Saleh, Mike McDaniel, all getting them, 3rd round picks. I think that's just such a massive piece that we've been missing. And where you get that done is having a decent GM and having good draft picks or good free agent signings that you do allow to walk. And we might get the benefit of that for this cycle. Should these guys get some extra, picks and whatnot. So I'm 100% on board. I like 𝐒𝐿s. Things you can kind of do to avoid counting against yourself. We mentioned the re-sign from Blitz Crew here. You can also get guys that were cut, or you can make, trades, which I guess is sort of like a little weird, but you can make a trade for someone using a late round pick if you think he's worthwhile. I like the idea of trying to stay ahead of all of this.
So
we did have a poll
now,
question.
Ryan. I'm sorry, just so you know, because we're talking about it. I didn't even see that Ashton Davis got signed by the Dolphins. I didn't even see that.
I did not know that. I thought this was presumptive.
No. So right now the Jets are +3. Hassan Reddick is a 4th round pick. So DJ Reed got canceled out by Fields. Javon Kinlaw got canceled out by Brandon Stevens. They were 5th round grade. Morgan Moses got canceled out by Andre Sisco. So we have Reddick, who's still there in the 4th round, and Solomon Thomas, who's a 7th rounder. And Ashton Davis got less than him, so he would likely be a 7th rounder as well. So that right now we're +3, 2 7s and a 4th.
Ooh,
not bad.
I like that. If you guys didn't vote in the poll chat, I didn't want to put myself on there and get frozen again. And I put my co-host from yesterday's show, 𝐒𝐿.
𝐒𝐿. Let's eject that son of a bitch.
Eject him.
That's it. You're out of here.
Oh, 𝐒𝐿, thank you for playing. Do not pass go. He's in the chat trying to defend himself. It's okay.
No.
We love you, 𝐒𝐿.
In there yelling.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Yelling into the wind. Right. Bearded comes in, says, you spend on the big names when you're in a position like Washington. You take a chance on guys when you are in the spot we are. Completely agree. Go high upside. And especially when you're not devoting a ton of money. Like, I don't want to go necessarily like take a chance on a risk, on like a expensive risk. I think Fields is like probably the most expensive risk I want to take right now, but I 100% agree. You take some high upside guys, or maybe you plug some holes and try to rebuild as you can. And not spending a lot of money in free agency is all right with me, because I would like to get ahead of Sauce and Reed. We did see J.C. Horn get a 4-year, $100 million contract, and he played in 37 games across 4 years. Like, that is nuts. Sauce definitely is going to get paid way more than that. So lock him up now before Stingley gets his contract. But Matt, what are your thoughts on a team like Washington and their approach to an offseason versus what the Jets are doing currently?
I like this bearded YouTubers, bearded, right?
Yep, bearded V tier.
Yeah, V tier. I'm sorry, I thought it was YouTuber. It's V tier. I like this. You got to go with the young guys, right? They're in their mid-20s. Most of the Jets signings, Justin Fields, 26. You signed Cisco, is going to be 25. The corner from the Ravens is 27. Stay in that approach. You don't need to find the 33-year-old veteran who's on his last leg. Tyron Smith, Mike Williams, those kinds of guys. I'm good with the approach that they've taken so far. I just think they need to continue to do more. Like, this can't be it, just these 3 signings.
So I will say the only older player, I shouldn't say the only older player, but an older player that I would like to see the Jets go after is Zadarius Smith. I thought he still had plenty in the tank last year, played with Aaron Glenn last year. I don't really want to spend a high, pick on an edge rusher, but I'm still not feeling 100% comfortable with JJ yet. And I feel like that's the type of player that I would be all right with. I guess maybe pending contract size and whatnot.
I know we just shit on him, but 𝐒𝐿 brought up a really good point on my stream today. He came on with Jeremy, so I want to give him some credit here because he's getting beaten down. But Leonard Floyd got released by the 49ers, and I think that would be an interesting option as like a third rotational edge.
He went to the Falcons.
That happened already?
Yeah,
So
he got scooped up. Yeah, that sucks.
Never mind.
That would have been a nice little swing there. Did I throw this to you, Bean, about Washington and the chances they take on a player, you know, since they're a contender versus what we should be taking a swing on here?
Yeah, no, and this is kind of what I was saying. It might even be a better way to say what I was saying before. Like we're in a place right now. Like obviously we have a lot of holes. We have a lot of guys that are, you know, either going to get signed elsewhere or that we're moving on from, you know, by our own choice. You know, I think I sent it to you guys. I reached out to Kenny Yeboah yesterday and just said, you know, look, man, I'm really hoping that you come back. But anyway, I hope you know, finally get on an organization kind of. I hope you're finally utilized, you know what I mean, properly. And we had a brief little chat, which was nice. But you know, some guys were just gonna, you know, the new team, they come in and they don't feel any obligation to stick with the guy. They don't know if he's the king of strain or not. They're looking at production. So we have a lot of holes to fill. So this isn't the year. Like, we're not taking a swing. This isn't last year when, you know, we had Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson and we were like poised to make a run. Like, this was all in. Bring on Tyron Smith, you know, try to just, you know, swing for the fences. That's not where we are. So big name hunting right now isn't really the order of the day. And like a team like Washington, they made it to the NFC Championship game last year. And they added Deebo Samuel, right?
Tunsil, Marshawn Lattimore.
Trade.
Like,
yeah, I mean, so
Javon Kinlaw.
That's a perfect example. Javon Kinlaw.
I don't know what Washington was watching that they decided, hey, let's double Javon Kinlaw's money and give him 3 years.
Look at his cap numbers these 3 years. It's 7.5 this year, 18.4 in 2026, and 19.1 in 2027.
Ugh.
Did we watch the same guy? Holy shit.
Insane. It's Looney Tunes.
Yeah. So, like, when you look at this free agency period, you know, obviously we needed a quarterback. Agree or not, right? Like, they went out and got the guy that they thought, hey, we're going to take a swing. You know, next year's it looks to be a very strong quarterback class. We want a quarterback with some potential to maybe be the guy in the interim. We don't want to just throw the year away. We'd like to work on something. And look, we fill some positions. You know, they clearly, Aaron Glenn likes Stevens, right? So, you know, and Cisco, the safety. So, all right, bring those guys in and then piece together some holes. Use the draft. It's really strong in some of the non-premium positions, tight ends, defensive tackle, that sort of thing. Safeties are in there. So we can really fill some holes this year and then stack on that next year. Imagine this, guys, and we've been talking about this a little bit this week. Imagine when we do get our quarterback of the future, if Fields doesn't work out, that he's one of the final pieces, not coming in here as the savior that we got to watch get destroyed and manhandled for 2 years before we're able to build a team around him. Imagine if the offensive line is here, the running game's intact. We have, you know, a solid 1 and 2 wide receiver. The defense is 80% done. We got a good starting tight end. Like, imagine that the quarterback comes in here and can just be the final piece of the offense instead of what we've been doing, which is have a talentless team where we gotta look at him as savior. You know what I mean? I think it might be a better way. I like the different approach, quite frankly.
100%. JJ comes in and says, the Watson contract is one of the only NFL things that makes me smile. Yeah, the Deshaun Watson contract and just watching the Browns get absolutely crushed makes me feel, one, like, screw them for giving him a fully guaranteed contract. And two, I'm very lucky that was not the Jets, because if we had made that trade for Watson just prior to all the allegations come out, I would have signed off on a deal similar to that. So like, we kind of dodged a bullet with that one, even though we're not in like the best shape either. Matt, is there any contract in the NFL other than Javon Kinlaw at $15 million a year that makes you smile?
The Kinlaw one's the most recent one to break my brain. Has there been any other ones that have? I mean, Solomon Thomas getting like 8 million. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, that's quite the pay bump. Yo, how about friggin' what's his face? Myles Garrett getting 40 million a year. Jeez.
I know.
I feel like I would just
Crazy.
I'm just gonna draft first round edge rushers all the time at this point, because like if one of our guys goes off, I don't know how you afford to pay him. Like, that is a ton of money.
Well, that's how I feel about like wide receiver too. It's just like you cannot live and die by free agency, man. You just can't. It's too much money. You have to have, you know, that pipeline. We talk about that word a lot, right? But having that pipeline of guys at these positions, you mentioned edge rusher, wide receiver. These guys are getting crazy money. Like when you think about $30 million to me, and they're talking about 35. It's like 3 years ago, it was like 25 was a lot of money. 3 years later, 30 million is not enough. Like, I don't know how fast it's picking up speed so fast. Like, you just gotta let those guys go. Most of them, you gotta, you know, you keep like one like a Garrett Wilson, and you just keep restocking the shelves, man, with young guys. Because there's no way that you can pay, you know, 2 wide receivers $30 million a year, and then if you have a good quarterback and a good edge rusher at 30 million, everybody wants $30 million. It's fucking crazy. $30 million feels like high-end quarterback money to me, and it was not too long ago. I don't know what happened. It's crazy to me.
55
so
now.
you gotta have a pipeline,
Dude, they're getting like 55 now quarterbacks. It's crazy how everything is kind of shifted. Deshaun Watson's cap hit next year is like $85 million. It's like insane. Looney Tunes.
Nuts.
I want to jump up to Jolt's super chat. Thank you so much, dude. Says Washington is making the mistake of pulling the trigger too early, akin to the Jets' recent premature all-in push. You can build a young team around Jaden without big money malcontents like Debo. Yeah, but did Debo sign a new contract? I think it's only a 1-year deal right now. So, like, you can move off him. This isn't like committing, you know, and that's at the most important position. They have Jaden Daniels. Like, I think it is the right time for them to do it. We did it kind of the opposite way, where we had the team in place and we threw a lot of money and picks to go get Aaron Rodgers, and then an Achilles happened and it all kind of went south from there. I think this is the right time for the Commanders to push all in right now. Bean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think it's a mistake. I mean, dude, they made it to the NFC Championship game last year.
Yeah.
You know, the only team that beat them was the team that, you know, that made it to the fucking whole thing. They won the whole thing. So, I mean, I think it's the perfect time to add somebody for Jaden Daniels. I like that they brought Zach Ertz back on 1 year. I mean, people are talking about him being washed. Dude, that guy had 66. Juwan, what's his name?
Johnson.
Yeah, tight end to re-sign with New Orleans for like $10 million a year or whatever it was. Dude, Zach Ertz had 16 more catches than him last year. And they, you know, it's like, you know, like, so you keep those guys around. You got Zach Ertz, you got McLaurin. Dude, adding Debo Samuels to that offense is probably, I think it's the perfect time for them to do it, man. They got this window. It just so happened that their quarterback came out, you know, shot out of a cannon, which is what you want. You want to maximize that rookie contract. And dude, if there's anybody to really support and kind of go all in for this rookie window, it's Jaden Daniels, man. I can't think of anybody better to do that with, quite frankly.
Matt, your thoughts on going all in with Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, hard agree. It feels like it's the opposite of what the Texans are doing. They're trading away all their offensive linemen. I don't understand what the Texans' plan is. They trade away Laramie Tunsil, and then they traded their guard too that they took in the first round not that long ago. So I disagree with Jolt Music. I think this is the exact perfect time, because you're not going to be able to. Jaden Daniels is going to get, who knows, 4 years from now, $60 million a year probably. You're not going to be able to spend like crazy then. So you have to maximize the rookie window and win when they are cheap. So now's the time.
JJ comes in and says, our offensive line is a problem. It was built for the pass, not the run. I don't know. Like, obviously, like, the Rodgers and Fields are wildly different styles of quarterback play. But we changed our blocking scheme. Like, we seemed to do, like, all right in the running game 2 years ago with majority of the same-ish players. Actually, I shouldn't even say that because Tippmann wasn't here. No, we only had one. That was a bad thought process. But I think you can change the blocking and have an opportunity. Now, you still have to bring in a right tackle. You're probably going to have to bring in an additional guard because I don't know if you have AVT next year or if you have John Simpson next year. So you're going to have to sort of reshape it a little bit. Sure, Olu's, bread and butter is in the pass, but we're going to have to pass also. So I don't think it's a huge problem. I think it's a massive potential question mark, but I don't know if I'm ready to call it a problem yet. Matt, your thoughts on O-line?
Well, we know who 3 of the 4 guys, we know who 4 of the 5 is going to be. And I would say 3 of the 5 are better run blockers individually than they are pass blockers. AVT, better in the run game. Joe Tippmann, better in the run game. John Simpson, better in the run game. I think it's more of a scheme and play calling issue. The Jets offense was an absolute shambles last year, and the coaching staff did them no favors. So I don't agree with this in the slightest. The offensive line, I think, is going to be an average unit this year. I'm not going to say it's going to be an elite unit, but I think it will be a good to average unit this year, and they are going to be more than fine, assuming they figure out who's going to play right tackle.
Being your thoughts on the offensive line, would you think it's a problem? Are they built for the pass? Are they not built for a run, like how we kind of see this offense sort of formulating? I mean, I feel like last year, especially when you bring in Morgan Moses, it felt like we were going to be a power run team. Like that was sort of the narrative that went into everything. What are your thoughts?
Well, and I think we saw, especially the first quarter of the season, that new blocking scheme, like for Breece Hall, right? We noticed it right away. Everybody's like, something's wrong with Breece doesn't look the same. I don't know. I think when I look at the offensive line, I really like Fashanu. I like Simpson. I really like Tippmann. AVT's a badass when he's healthy. We don't know who the right tackle is. So I think it's more about, rather than thinking that the offensive line is a problem, I think the offensive line coach and the entire offensive staff, scheme, play calling, everything about this offense was the problem. So, look, just very simply, you look at a guy like Becton. Our team could not figure out a way to kind of keep him around, use this guy. He was a prop. Saleh and his whole staff, they didn't like Becton from the word go, right? You could see it all over the place. Yep. He goes down to the Eagles, and he's, they say, yeah, well, his fucking lateral movement's off because he had 2 knee surgeries. We're going to stick you inside and see if it works. And it worked to the tune of Pro Bowl level guard play. But this staff wasn't able to think that way. They also cut Chuma Edoga, who they didn't like at tackle, who went down, I believe it was the Texans or the Saints or somebody down there. And he went to guard, and he's playing well. So I think it's more about the staff, scheme, play calling. Don't forget, man, we fired our offensive coordinator, essentially without firing him midway through the season. Keith Carter's known as kind of a douchebag, and nobody really likes him. So I don't think it's the offensive line that's a problem. I think it's everything to do with coaching. And we saw that for numerous reasons last year, and I think that's one of them. I don't know if it's I'm not really worried about it. I like the idea of them coming back and playing together. That's something that we haven't seen in a very long time. Like 10 years, we haven't seen 4/5 of the offensive line return for 2 years in literally 10 years. So I'm more excited about that than I am about, what they were built for. I think schematics are more of an issue for me.
Boys and girls, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Does anyone feel like March is just madness? There's just so much noise about everything right now, whether it's the birds chirping away as spring wakes up or the endless bombardment of trash coming from my TV. Everything from my work to my workouts is getting interrupted. That is until I found the Everyday Earbuds by Raycon. With active noise cancellation capable of drowning out the most maddening of sounds, Raycon's Everyday Earbuds are your quieting sidekick for the gym, work, or phone calls, offering premium audio that goes where you go. Their latest model is better than ever with a 32-hour battery life and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at one time. I have a pair of the black headphones. I really enjoy them. I think it looks sleek. They're comfortable, go fit right in your ear, and they don't fall out when you're active at the gym, moving around, running on the treadmill. If you want a different color, they have a wide variety of colors that are available to you. So go to buyraycon.com/talkinjets to get 20% off the best-selling everyday earbuds, brought to you by Raycon.
Boys and girls, I wish I could hear you right now, but I can't because I have these amazing headphones in right now. Brought to you by Raycon. They got the jet green. See, Bean and I were smart. We went with the green. I don't remember what color.
We got the jet green together. Oh,
Was it
no, it's
black?
a different color green.
Is it a different green? I think it could just be your lighting.
Yeah, Chuck, put it up again.
Yeah, green beans is darker, no?
Yeah.
I don't know. Mine's pretty
Well,
dark.
I'm not saying mine's more Jets. I'm just saying it's different. Yours is probably closer to the Jets, even though mine is.
It's got wireless charging on it. I think it connects to 2 different Bluetooth devices, which is kind of cool. I'm a fan.
Let me tell you this. This is my favorite thing about these. I use earbuds most when I'm going to bed. My wife hates me. As soon as we go to bed, she hates me. All right. So, but I need to like listen to a book or watch something. So I put these on. But every other earbuds that I have, the battery dies during that. I like to be talked to at like when I sleep. I put on like positive stuff and listen to it. Dude, the battery has not died once yet. As a matter of fact, it has lasted the full next day. Like all my earbuds die in the middle of the night, and I've had good high level expensive earbuds. The battery is my favorite thing about this, dude. That's the best thing for me. I hate when my earbuds die. Love these things for that. Love it.
I do the same thing. I keep one earbud in because I go to bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm always watching a movie or a show or something like in the middle of the night and just pop one in, wind up listening to it. And what's great is like when your favorite football team makes a move you don't like 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞, you can like shake your head and just really jam out and get mad. And these things aren't moving. They're not going anywhere.
Look at that. Amazing.
Matt, anything else to add?
Love these Raycons.
I love mine's in my gym bag right now. Otherwise, I would have mine on, but I use them at the gym when I'm walking on the treadmill, riding the bike, lifting weights, all that good stuff.
Did I show you guys my skin? Here.
Oh. I didn't
sorry,
put my skin on. I wanted to.
See my skin?
It's like putting pants on.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, I almost got that one.
I did the concrete. Bam. Then I got a little top to it.
You know why I got? Yeah, you know why I did this? Because I lose them all the time. Ooh. Like I wanted something. I tried to get something bright. So yeah, you got the skin, you got the green. I got two options here. It's great.
Kind of nice. They got. I think it's 50 different colors, is what they say. Tons of different colors, lots of different stuff. They make more than even just earbuds too. I didn't realize that they do. Oh God, I think I saw a faucet in there, like some sort of like smart faucet. Crazy stuff. Do some cool stuff over at Raycon.
They're yelling at me in the chat. They're saying this is Philly green. I don't think it is. No.
I got the jet green. Green bean got the Philly green. I don't know what it is. No.
Well, I won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I got the number 7 pick.
There you go.
Guys, if you want to head over to buyraycon.com/talkinjets, you get 20% off and it helps support the channel. So hopefully they want to sponsor us in the future because it helps us. It helps keep the lights on around here. Really does.
Well, and because I like when sponsors are products that we like.
That's true. That's true. I've certainly.
You know what I mean?
I feel like most of the stuff we wind up getting offered are usually like pretty good.
Oh,
definitely. Oh, the Chubbies.
Yeah, I don't accept
sweet.
them. Remember, I almost had that. What was it? The garage door guy. I was like, you know what? No. I can't. Yeah, I love my garage door.
I turned down. I had Zin one time. Zin, or was it Zin? I think it was Zin. Reached out and was like, "Oh, hey." I was like, "I don't dip. I can't like in good conscience do this right now." Like, it's only if you see something that we push on here, it's because we actually do endorse it and we do like it. So we do turn things down. But thank you.
Yeah, we turn stuff down all the time.
We got Mutt Viles in here. What up, dude? Says nothing changes. Death taxes and the Miami Dolphins signing New York Jets free agents. Why does all of the Baltimore hate Brandon Stevens extend G5? Yes, extend Garrett Wilson. Look, I don't know why Baltimore dislikes him. I think that is a major concern. 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞 brought this up, and I think it is a valid point. When you see the other team that they're leaving sort of rejoice, like the same way like the Commanders fans were like, "Oh, Kinlaw, we got him. Yeah, we got a guy. Boom, a former first-round pick." And we're like, "Yo, you guys are clowns. What are you thinking? You didn't watch him." Like there is some. I think there's some credit you have to give fans in that respect. I think to that same token, when you have a head coach that specializes on his side of the ball, I think that's where you see the upside. Especially when I saw clips. I think it was of Stevens manning up Jamar Chase, and he like bullied him in some matchups. I thought that was pretty attractive. But yeah, I don't know what it is with Miami always signing our free agents. I don't like that Zach Wilson went down there. I like it from the sense of like I hope he stinks and they don't have a good backup then. But I also don't. I still have this PTSD. Like, no, I would just assume Jet players are gonna be good wherever they go outside of here, and that's not always really the case. Like, I don't know. It's just stupid. Matt, your thoughts on the Miami Dolphins signing free agents?
Yeah, but what do you think, Zach Wilson, Matt? Like, what do you think?
$6 million, baby. $6 million. Great. Yeah.
Confirmation. Jets suck.
Well, you know, Tua has proven to be a very durable quarterback. He never gets hurt, so I don't think Zach Wilson will have to play for them. So this isn't a concern. If I was them, I would sign a guy that I have no business playing because I'm very confident in my quarterback's health.
Yeah. And to Mutt Viles' point, like this is 3 consecutive Jets backup quarterbacks that the McDaniels-led Dolphins have chosen to pick up. Mike White, Tim Boyle, and now Zach Wilson. Incredible. Although I will say, Zach Wilson sitting on the bench behind, with Sean Payton, and then going to McDaniels, he might have a shot. Like if there's any kind of succession of events that could get him there, and having Tyreek Hill and Waddle out there and all that, maybe, just maybe, down there. Maybe.
So I think it's not for the Dolphins necessarily. I think they're probably still going to be locked into Tua. I think it's going to be the progression similar to Sam going to the Carolina Panthers, then going to the 49ers, then going to the Vikings. I think whatever team gets Zach next year might be the bearer of fruit from the Sean Payton era and the McDaniels era, or McDaniel era in Miami. We'll see though. We'll see. Bean, any thoughts to like why Baltimore doesn't, or why the fans maybe were happy to get rid of Brandon Stevens, and do you put any weight in that sort of analysis?
Well, here, I mean, look, I do agree with what T-Go is saying, and then what you reiterated here. Like, just Kinlaw is a great example. We're like, fucking take them, and I think the fans generally have a pretty good mindset. They're the ones watching, studying, deconstructing these players and the stats and everything. Here's the other thing, though. Like, I have Pittsburgh fan friends in my life, and they want to get rid of Tomlin. Mm-hmm. They hate him. And the way that I look at that is some fans are what I like to call spoiled rotten, right? They have no idea what it's like to actually suck. Like, to not have a losing season in 25 years or something like that. Now, I get what they're saying. Yeah, but we can't get over the hump and blah, blah, blah. So I do get it. But I think Ravens fans, they're so used to seeing like exceptional play that a guy that's good and just, regular good, there's a very realistic potential that they're not into it. Like, they expect, studs. Look, so we should expect studs too. But I think, they're used to seeing something a little bit better. But if Aaron Glenn likes him, and, again, like you said, Ryan, that's the position he played. Defense is his specialty. If him and Wilkes like this young man and think, hey, he's got the makings of somebody that we can develop, then I think we go with it until proven otherwise. But I also think fans of really good teams, which, by the way, I'm looking at their comp. It's just funny. Pittsburgh Steelers right now, they've lost 5 free agents. They brought in none. So they are plus, the 4 is the max, but right now they have a third, a fourth, and 2 sixths in their comp picks. The Ravens, +3. It's like you see, like, certain organizations, they just know how to do this thing. So I don't know. It's definitely worth listening to. I mean, You know, it's not like he was the guy that I didn't hear anybody go, you know what? We got to go out and get Stevens. Lock that guy up for 3 years. I didn't hear any of that. So it's one of those things, slightly concerning. But again, Simpson worked out last year for a terrible offensive organization. So maybe Aaron Glenn knows what he's doing. We gotta wait and see on that. But I think it's definitely worth raising an eyebrow, Ryan.
Peter, what's up, dude? Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, imagine this offense: Fields, Garrett Wilson, Brees, Braylon, Davis, plus Tyler Warren in RPO, screens, etc. I believe Corley and Ruckert eat some as well. Look, I want to bully and bloody people up. I like the idea of Warren being in this offense with all the guys mentioned. I think that's a lot of fun. I think we can be a violent team that like beats people into submission. We might not be throwing the ball crazy, amounts of times, but if we are efficient and getting first downs, like how many times did Aaron Rodgers not take off running because he just was not mobile enough to get the first down? Like first and goal from the 1 yard line versus the Broncos, and we can't find a way to get in from there. Like, I never want to see that happen again. And I think with Fields, you probably will be able to punch that in 9 times out of 10. Matt, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I have talked about Tyler Warren being used in the tush push package at Penn State. So he's a former quarterback, and with his size, they've used him, running the ball, with carries. I believe he has a receiving touchdown, rushing touchdown, and throwing touchdown this year. So they could do, like, he can throw the ball out of that formation. Like, get fun with it, man. Like, let's make this thing interesting. And I get it. Like, Fields, he's not going to have many games where he throws for 300 yards. That's not his game. They're going to be a very run heavy offense. That's going to be their identity. But you want your quarterback, who is, let's be honest, more of a one read guy, get the ball out quick. Dump it off to Brees, dump it off to Braylon and Tyler Warren in the flat, and let them do their thing yards after the catch. And then eventually Garrett Wilson will get freed up. So I think this would be a home run. I'm really a big fan of Tyler Warren. I get it. Some people don't want to go tight end that early, but I think he's a special player who would really help this offense a ton.
Bean, your thoughts on Peter's offense?
Let me tell you something, Peter. Just seeing that gets me excited. You know what I mean? Just seeing, like, look, and here's the good news. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those players are here already. You know what I mean? We're talking about adding one guy. It's really going to boil down to whether or not Tanner Engstrand is worth a shit. Like, it's really that simple. You know what I mean? Like, if our offensive staff is any good, we have some really nice pieces right now. What they can do with Fields, getting him to play within his game. You know what I hate more than anything? When you have a quarterback like Justin Fields is a really good example. You don't want him to be a one-read guy and take off before routes develop and all that kind of shit, of course. But like when they try to take that kind of guy and make him a pocket passer, right? Like I'm so done with all that shit. Figure out what these players' talents are. Malachi Corley is another great example. Oh, he's not staying on the red line, or his toes are fucking crooked, or whatever the issue it is with him. How about he's really good at this? And we saw this with Mims, right? Mims, he ran like 2 or 3 routes really well. But we want him to run 10. We want him to run the full tree. Well, why don't you just use these guys for what they're good at? You find out, like, really identify what your team's, your players' strengths are, and develop the system around those strengths. If we do that, guys like Justin Fields, who, again, like him or not, you can't take away his athleticism, his super strong arm, like his, so he's a crazy talented kid. Brees Hall, stud. Garrett Wilson, stud. Braylon Allen, maybe a little less than Brees Hall, but stud. Isaiah Davis, dude, these guys are good. I still believe in Corley. Ruckert, very, very disappointing. But we saw him with Justin Fields, and that's kind of where he made his name. That's how he became a 3rd-round pick. So who knows, man? But, like, this actually excites me. You add a guy like, now imagine we add Tyler Warren or Ibuka or Tet McMillan or or maybe Tyler Warren and then Nick Nash later in the draft, or Savion Williams, another guy I really love, like in the fifth round. Now we're really talking. It's all about Tanner Engstrand. Nathaniel Hackett was hot garbage, and we pivoted to Downing because he was the only guy on the roster that could even fill that role. But no, he's a position coach right now. Excuse me. He didn't get another OC job.
Nope.
Because he's not a real OC. So that's what we were dealing with last year. Our offense was dog shit. So seeing this, if we can have a 21st century offense and learn to really play within the strengths of what our players bring to the table, I think we can have a very exciting season, guys. I really do.
So I'm just trying to see. So something that's interesting, and you brought up Tanner Engstrand and like Nathaniel Hackett being an issue. And I'm trying to do the math in my head real quick, and I'm probably jacking it up. But Nathaniel Hackett's career, he has less years as an offensive coordinator than Tanner Engstrand does. Now, granted, he's got NFL experience as an offensive coordinator, but Engstrand this will be his 14th year as an offensive coordinator. He's called plays before. So it's, probably not a full apples to apples comparison, but yeah, look, if he's worth his salt, we're gonna be just right. I love what Peter's getting at here. Blitzcrew says these aren't the only 3 moves I want to see. The draft and post-June cuts will fill out other gaps. Eccles was a solid enough cornerback too. Yeah, and I really like the way we performed when we had a really stout front 4 against the Eagles. Yep. And the Eagles saw what we did, and they were like, that's the solution for Patrick Mahomes. That's the way you need to play. Get after the quarterback with 4 down linemen, and your secondary pieces can thrive even if they're not like top of the highest level. So I like Eccles coming back, and yeah, there's gonna be plenty of times. You got the draft, you got undrafted free agency, you have camp cuts towards the end of training camp. There's gonna be a lot of opportunities for the Jets to add some players, and we're gonna be very, very high on the waiver wire when this all kind of shakes out. So yeah, hopefully we get something done. Matt, let's go around the table and let's just sort of see what is there a player out there that you would like to see the Jets add that's not a former New York Jet? You kind of like just go around like the free agent stuff, or maybe someone that could be a June 1st cut or something like that, like someone that you might have an eye on.
Levi Onwuzurike, interior lineman from the Detroit Lions. Was finally healthy last year. Really damn good football player. Knows Aaron Glenn's system. Would help at a really big position of need. And he's more of a pass rush guy, and as Green Bean has talked a ton about on this show. In the draft, in the mid rounds, you could find your fat bastard to eat against.
Yay!
Run at that point. Draft the Chubbo in the 4th round and get your pass rush guy. Because I don't what is he going to get? 2 years, $11-12 million? It's going to be a very minimal kind of deal, I would think. To me, that's the no-brainer. He's still available. I haven't seen him linked to anyone else. Bring him home, Aaron Glenn.
Bean, what about you? Is there a player out there that you really like?
Here's what I want to see the Jets do. I want to see them go out there and get George Fant back in the house for a right tackle. That's what I want to see. Or maybe we could do it for Ryan. We get Jedrick Wills and then wonder why he never plays. We could do that for Ryan.
Cheap option.
It didn't feel good.
I'm saying
I didn't even feel good saying that.
1 year. I've been getting shit for this for so long, and then people start talking about it. Like once Moses goes elsewhere, I think it's a worthwhile swing as a safety, like to not have Carter Warren or Max Mitchell, like replacing one of those guys with Jedrick Wills. That's like I don't want him to ideally be the starter unless he beats someone else out for it.
Well, how about this? I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
We might be looking at the same thing, but Joey Bosa is going to the Buffalo Bills on a 1 year, $12 million.
Wow. Solid didn't get him.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I thought he was going to San Francisco.
It was San Francisco and Miami, I think, were the 2 teams looking at him. So Buffalo getting him. That's
not good news.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's bad.
Well, the Ravens, Ricky just popped in. Ricky from New York, our buddy, says, breaking news, Ravens release safety Marcus Williams.
Ooh. We wanted him, what, 2
What do you
years
say
ago?
we finally get him?
Yeah, that'd be nice. And so I want to.
Well, that 3 years ago,
3 years
we wanted him. We ended up getting Whitehead.
Ah, okay. So I really want to see, just to cap off our conversation of like players that we would like to see brought in. Marcus Williams would be a great one to bring in, but Zadarius Smith, both those guys would not count towards our comp pick formula because Zadarius Smith was cut, Marcus Williams cut, and look, that would be. I would like that. I like that. That's a nice little round out of the safety room. I wonder what he would get on the open market, Marcus Williams. How old is he now?
He's coming off a really rough year last year.
Yeah.
He'll turn 29 at the beginning of the season.
Okay. His base salary for 2026 was $50 million. It was such an absurd.
Wait, who's that?
His base salary, Marcus Williams. Go to Over the Cap and look at his contract because they haven't like deleted him off the Ravens yet. It's got to be, they must have jacked that up. That can't be the correct because his cap number is only 6.7 million, but they list his base salary at 50 million for 2026.
That's hilarious.
That's
maybe
ridiculous.
That's a typo.
That's really funny. Yeah, look, I think it'd be a good move to get him in and not work against our comp pick formula. His contract value previously was 14 million average per year. So if you could get him, I mean, I don't know, how much more do you want to spend on safety, or are we thinking draft someone at this point? What do you think, Matt?
Like $10 million, something like that. And they just paid someone 10 million. Most of these guys have been going cheaper than expected. Holland was expected around 20. He gets 15. And Justin Reed was expected around 15. He gets 10. So I'm thinking you could, I don't know who was left outside of, Marcus Williams, a late addition here, but someone in that like $8 to $10 million range, perhaps.
That'd be nice. Bean, what about you? How are you feeling about investing into safety more than we've, already done? Just,
yeah. Now I'm probably, I mean, unless he was, you could get him for a deal. I really would rather go into the draft and start like, that's one of the positions I like I like a nice handful of players in the draft, whether it's Makuba a little bit later, or like, guys like Malachi Starks earlier. Like I really would like to see us, like we brought a guy in, he's young, he's 20, he's going to be 25 in like 10 minutes, I think something like that. So that's nice and young. I wouldn't want to see too much invested. Marcus Williams, I'd have to look. How did he do the last couple of years? I admittedly didn't really focus on him. I loved him last time.
Yeah, last year was rough. Before that, he was very good. I'm looking at Julian Blackman still available, and that's a strong safety who's been okay the last 2 years for Indianapolis as their starting strong safety.
So he did not have a good season last year. Last year was his worst season, and I'll just throw up his PFF for the sake of ease here. I mean, every single year he was a stud until last year. So hopefully you can get him to turn around. Gave up 3 touchdowns last year, pretty high.
How many games did he play, Ryan? He played, 1,000 snaps. Yeah, okay.
He played. Yeah, he played week 1 through week 12. So I don't know what happened, if he was benched or if he got hurt. But he did not finish out the season for the Ravens as the starter there. It's all right. Maybe if he coming off a down year, maybe you can get him cheap for a season. Prove it deal. Try to get one more cash in contract. Austin comes in and says, rebuild year 500, draft O-line or D-Membo or McWilliams. Yeah, look, those are the two guys that I'm kind of zeroing in on at number 7. Membo, after his combine performance and like the fact that he was exclusively a right tackle really excites me. I would say the LSU tackle concerns me a little bit because he might be more of like an AVT type guard. Which I don't necessarily want to go that route. I like McMillan, but honestly, if I could trade down, like Bean was saying earlier, and get a 2nd-round pick, I think Matt said that in the past too, especially if you could scoop Tyler Warren up at like pick 12, that's the move for me, I think. But yeah, if we come away with either one of these players, I'm going to be really happy. Matt, your thoughts on Membo and McMillan?
I like McMillan more than Membu. I don't hate the idea of going offensive line and just rounding out your complete unit, but I'd like there to be a time for the Jets to be a normal NFL team for a change and be able to find like a guy who can start for you at right tackle in the second or third round rather than having to spend a top 10 pick on the position when you need another pass catcher.
Yeah, and you can get Ozzy in the third round.
Dude, we didn't even talk about our third round pick being jumped up 20 picks. But yes, dude, I agree.
How good is that news?
Oh, you're so sweet. I can't believe no one knew this. I think we all just assumed it was the later of the two. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a big deal, man. Because going from what do we have? Pick 42 to 92, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was like a round and a half. And I don't think Ozzy makes it to the back end of the third. I think he does get it to our third round pick now, though.
Yeah, 92 to 73. So essentially 20 pick difference.
That's huge. Bean, what were your thoughts on McMillan and Membo? Sorry to like cut you off.
No, look, if they decide to go with it's weird. I want to say Membao so bad. Membo, yeah. It's like I know it's Fashanu. I still can't do it. I'm like, I've already just settled into the Fashanu. I like it. It feels better to say it. But like, so look, if they decide to go that route, I'm in, right? Like I get it. I'm in. Especially, you think like what's going to be there. So, wide receivers, there's a few wide receivers later that I like. Like if we pivot and go like offensive line, and then in the second round, we're kind of looking for a wide receiver or a tight end. Like, some really good players are there, whether it's Mason Taylor at tight end, Loveland if he makes it there, Arroyo. Like there's quite a few guys that I really like and can come in and be instant impact. So I'm not too worried about it. That said, I would rather get the wide receiver, Tet McMillan, up top, or Ty Warren. Like I'm in on either one. I'd rather go that way and then get Ozzy Trapillo, like in the third round. I mean, you got to have more than one guy you want to get there, right, for that position. But because I agree with Matt, and you've said this many times, as have I, like we got to stop depending on the first round for our offensive line. I mean, on our offensive line right now, we have 2 first rounders and a
second rounder
and a second, yeah.
And
so
out of 4
2/3
for AVT, so there's a lot of picks invested.
Right. Even more so, right? He's a first and 2/3. So, it's not to say, look, again, if they say, no, this is what we're doing, offensive line is our priority, I fully respect that. And Membo, dude, that combine performance, if he didn't win you over, like, because we like, you like a player and you just see like he exudes like passion and energy and, that aggression, which is what you want to see. So I'm like, okay, I'm into it. But I would rather see them go the other way because you can get Ozzy Trapillo can come in and start for you. And I'd feel pretty damn good about that. Yeah, that's the way I'd rather go. But again, if they did that, I'd be happy with it.
There's a few ways that this draft could fall that I would be okay with. Like if the Jets wanted to go McMillan at 7, they wanted to go, tight end in the second, and they wanted to go Trapillo in the third. Like that's a stud three person option. If they wanted to go Tyler Warren in the first, and they wanted to go Higgins in the second, and they wanted to go Trapillo in the third, I like that. If they want to go Membu in the first, and they want to go Higgins in the second, and they want to go Trapillo in the third, like there's different ways to accomplish what I would like to see them accomplish, and those 3 positions, tight end, wide receiver, and right tackle, feel like the most pressing. Like Green Beans mentioned, you could always get a fatty later on in the draft. 4th round and beyond, I think is, A-okay for D tackle. We're probably going to need some safety help. I'm hoping we can lean a little bit more on Aaron Glenn's expertise as a DB coach and as a DB, in the NFL to hopefully groom some players at that position instead of investing so heavily in it, kind of like we were able to do to some degree with Bryce Huff and some of the undrafted free agent guys we had on the D line. Ace Cup. Nope. Aced Up says, let's get Cup. I don't think so. I don't think Cup's going to come here. I don't know what he would be worth. And I don't know. I feel like he'd want to go to a contender. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Any rumors, Matt, that you've heard about Kupp?
No, they're still trying to trade him. I don't think they find a trade partner. I think eventually he just ends up getting cut from the Rams. But I don't know if getting in the business at 32-year-old wide receivers is the move for the Jets this year.
Bean, what about you on Kupp?
I mean, if they did, I mean, I wouldn't be unhappy with getting them. But again, I think there's a trend we're seeing here, which is they're trying to go young. So I don't know if bringing Cooper Kupp in makes sense for what we're trying to do. I think they'd rather bring in a guy with some upside and start developing him now, rather than, Kupp's the kind of guy you bring in. There's two reasons you bring him in. Number one, if he's like, you need that wide receiver 3, somebody, that can give you some impact, not being the focal point on like the final piece, so to speak, on a team, add him to a successful team. Or you got nobody else out there and he can't find a team, and it's just like a guy you bring on to just play for you. I like Cooper Kupp a lot. I mean, I think he's a very, very exciting player throughout his career, but I just don't think I wouldn't hold my breath for that one. This team is clearly trying to, go young and start bringing on, their young players and start developing guys. That's what I see more than kind of going out there and just fill in the spots with old heads for no reason.
JJ says, I want Kevin Winston. So I'll be honest, I did not watch any Kevin Winston. So I'm just going to pull up his scouting profile right now. He is a man zone slot nickel safety is what they classify him as, from Penn State. Projected to go somewhere in the 2nd to 4th round. CBS has him ranked as high as 47th. Sports Talk has him at 54, NFL.com 64, PFF 82, Sports News 84, Draft Tech 84, 33rd Team 96, ESPN has him at 98, Draft Buzz has him 100, MidDB has him at 102. So kind of mid-lines. Winston Jr. comes from football bloodlines. His father played at James Madison and shows natural instincts for the game.
Wow.
2-time team MVP, All-Met State, and Defensive Player of the Year when he arrived at Penn State. So he's a 4-star recruit coming out of high school.
He got hurt this year.
Yeah.
That's why he's a little bit. He only played 3 games this year.
Gotcha.
If he was healthy, he probably would be considered towards like the number 1 or number 2 safety in this class. I think it's the medicals that's keeping him down right now.
Oh, okay. Very cool. All right. I like that kind of swing. If you can get him in like the 4th round, I don't know how much I'm like, I feel like I'm pretty steadfast right now on tight end, wide receiver, and tackle with our first 3 picks. So I don't know if I want to see it in the 3rd, but that 4th round pick, if he's there, I'd be down with that. Bean, any thoughts on Winston Jr.?
Yeah, I was going to say what Matt said. He got hurt, so it's a little bit tough. I mean, Dom would be more of a guy to ask because he's a guy that didn't really play much last year. So, I mean, he's highly regarded. He's also good in run support. But I don't know too much about him. So, I mean, if JJ Hamsa likes him, I'm against it. I'm just kidding.
I'll pull up, let me see if I could find. I do like being subscribed to PFF for the college stuff because it does give a little bit of insight. Let's see. So overall grades, his freshman year, 79.5. Then he was up to an 89.2 last year. And then, like Matt said, only played in 3 games. But going back a year to 2023, he had, let's see, 46 tackles, 20 targets, 10 receptions given up, so 50% completion percentage, had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 3 pass breakups. I'm assuming the other one must have been like a fumble or something. I don't know how he could have had 2 touchdowns without having an additional pick in there. Yeah, cool. I'm down with it. Let's make it happen. Jalen comes in, says, look at safety Shamari Simmons from Arizona State. So let's see.
My first thought is always, okay, where does Dom have this guy ranked on
Yep.
his board?
Yeah, right.
That is always the way to go. Why can't I find him on DraftBuzz? What am I doing here? 25. All right, I guess we're going straight through PFF at this point. Shamari Simmons. So they have him listed as a cornerback. Let me just see what his snaps were. Last year, he played a lot of slot corner, a little bit in the box, not many at safety overall. But then as far as defense goes, really good in run support, 91.6 grade for that. Overall defensive grade, 74.4. Tackling doesn't seem great. I don't know how you have a good run defense grade but a poor tackling grade. That doesn't really jive for me. Maybe it's tackling on pass catching situations, but his coverage grade's pretty solid. So maybe he's just bad at tackling the receiver if he doesn't cover him well. I'm down. Do either of you guys know anything about Shamari Simmons?
Nope.
No.
I don't see him on this list either from our guy Dom C.
Let's see if I can find him as a defensive back on DraftBuzz.
I'm hoping that the Jets pull up, finally grab one of my UVA love affairs and grab Jonas Sanker in maybe the 6th round. He'll be starting for us in 2 years. We need. I know every year I got to have one, Matt.
Jonas Sanker, dude, you love your Virginia guys.
He's good.
Dude, they're good.
I feel
Jeremy
like
and I think have talked about him for like 20 minutes today.
Who, Jeremy?
Yeah, that's his.
It's
dude.
funny, Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy was sending me shit 3 months ago on Jonas. And your fucking UVA guy, is your guy.
Dude, I still feel like Malik Washington was ours, and then Miami drafted him. So like it's just add another Jet there. Like it felt like he should have been a Jet.
Yeah, and we took Isaiah Davis, who I love and I liked in the draft. But I don't know. I thought Malik Washington should have been the pick.
Well, I think we also we already had Malachi Corley too. So I don't think they were gonna double dip.
Why? They just double dipped their running back.
Yeah, but I think I guess that's true. That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it at, why wouldn't you do it at that position instead of?
Yeah, because we didn't have Devontae. I mean, we were really only looking. I guess we had Mike Williams. So we had G-Dubs, Mike Williams, Lazard.
You traded
They
up for
have
Corley.
this crazy love affair with fucking Xavier Gibson. We drafted Corley.
Corley, no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. Need him.
Had to leak out that he's the 4th best wide receiver on their board.
Yeah. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Cannot make the 53.
Buffalo Jet fan. What's up, dude? Says, wake up, Muji. That lady who sued Lyft going to be next to Q. Am I missing? What does next to Q mean?
No, because, there was a lady. The Lyft driver didn't want to take her because she was too big to fit in his car. And he said, you need to order an Uber X or whatever it is. And she sued Lyft. And then she made all those videos, like, sitting in smaller cars. But nobody
did not see this.
She didn't have one video of her getting in and out of it, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta pull up a picture, Ryan.
It's funny.
All right, let's see what this is.
I don't know what her name is,
but she'd be perfect for the defensive line.
Yeah, like you need someone to fill the Al Woods role, right? Like just first down run stuffer. Eat up a couple blocks, maybe 3 linebackers to come in, and there you go.
Right.
Oh yeah, this is.
I've heard worse ideas.
She almost didn't fit on the screen.
Yeah, Buffalo says, what's her 3-cone? Not so good. That's the problem. She's going to slip in the draft.
No, her 3 ice cream cones right up there with the best of them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want for my
This is our D tackle.
This is what I'm talking about.
Day 3, man. Find somebody.
Seriously. I can't believe I never heard of that. That's ugh.
That was a lot of fun on the internet for a little bit.
Yeah.
What's her 3-cone?
Yeah, it's great.
Incredible.
It's so good. Ryan Marino wants to know if we could do a mock draft. Do you want to do a little mock draft?
In 15 minutes, do you think we'll have
Speed
time?
round.
Yeah,
Speed round.
Little rip through it.
We're not. Yeah, no voting. We're gonna monopolize this shit.
Yeah.
I like it. Let me see if I can. I gotta share my screen again. I don't know if I jacked it up. Boom.
Which what are you going with? PFF?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do PFF.
Nice.
So now you'll see my screen that I'm sharing right now. I could have switched it, and I chose not to. I was like, let me search PFF right now, but this is what hurt.
There we go.
Oh, geez. Okay. Boom. We're gonna go NFL, mock draft, Jets, 7-round.
Gotta get nice and close so I can see the screen.
Yeah, middle round. Say enter. I think we do still have to trade with the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, they switched it.
Oh, it's there, 73.
Yeah,
right?
they made it. All right, so we're good. Boom, rip through it. So first picks: Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Mason Graham to the Giants is weird. Will Campbell to the Patriots, McMillan to the Jaguars. That doesn't feel right. Cam Ward to the Raiders. I disagree with this. All right, who do we want to take at number 7 for the Jets? I feel like Warren, Membu are probably the top guys people are going to consider with McMillan off the board. Do we want to see what trade down options there are? See if anything's like realistic. Dallas at 12 wants to come up. I'm cool with that trade down if we want to do that because I feel like that is realistic.
Let's do it. Rip it, baby.
All right, so we're just going to do 7,
let's get
12.
44.
What else do we get? 44.
Second round there.
All right. It says it has a 67% chance of happening. So do we want to kick in a late round pick for us?
No.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck
Force the
that.
trade.
You want it or not?
All right.
Beautiful.
Ah, they took Tyler Warren. Bastards.
Oh, son of a bitch. All right.
And Membu goes too. Bastard.
Oh, see that? Now we got to take. You got and for me, I'm taking Jihad Campbell. We still need a third linebacker. I know people are saying with Michael Carter being paid, we're going to play a lot of nickel. I get it. I want a 4-3 base, and I want 3 actual linebackers. Plus, Quincy Williams might leave next year. You got your heir apparent in the house. That's my spiel for Jihad Campbell.
I feel like that's a valid argument. 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐾𝐿 would be my guy. I think. What's your?
I would say Ibuka too. So we'll go 2 out of 3.
There you go. 2 out of 3.
𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐾𝐿, wide receiver. All right. Xavier Watts went right before us. Loveland went right before us. Shedeur Sanders making it to the second round in the last 2 PFF mock drafts that I've done. All right. So we got our receiver. Are we thinking a certain position at this point? Or are we thinking, so like Revel's still here, Trey Amos is still here.
Is Tyleik Williams here?
Tyleik Williams. No.
It's your defensive line.
He went just before, a few picks before us to the Raiders.
Son of a... Alfred Collins?
Yep, he's here.
Too early for a fat bastard?
Hold on. Yeah, well, let's look. Let's scroll down a little bit. I'd be fine with Alfred Collins. Carson Schwesinger is another one I love. Linebacker. It's crazy. I'm talking linebackers.
No, I'm actually with you, Bean. I would be, since we have 2 seconds, I'm more in line with linebacker. If there's a tackle we like, I would consider that because we have 2 seconds, right? We're back, almost back to back. 42 and 44 are our 2 picks. And then we have our 3rd round pick, which is a little bit higher too. So I'm still kind of reserved to like Ozzie in the 3rd, I think.
Sure.
All right. My vote is Schwesinger.
Where am I seeing Schwesinger? Schwesinger linebacker.
I like Demetrius Knight though too. I do like Demetrius Knight.
If we go Schwesinger, then I would say Alfred Collins with the next one.
So let's go Alfred Collins first, just because he's a little bit higher, and then Schwesinger.
Yeah, but I know then we're playing the sim game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
we're
little
using
dumb.
the sim. That's called cheating. But I get it if you want to do that because we're gonna lose them.
The 49ers have D-line on their needs list. That's the only reason I'm saying that.
He goes to the 49ers.
He's a bastard. All right. Got Alfred Collins. And then we're going to take Schwechslinger.
Okay.
Just going to pull us over here. Pick 73, Ozzy Trapillo. Yeah? Or are we taking tight end?
I'm in for Ozzy and then tight end next.
That's where my head's at. Green Bean, we got 2 out of 3. Sorry, Green Bean. Overruled.
Right.
All right. Let's look at Gunnar Helm is here. I wonder where.
We got to start looking at who else. We got Gunnar Helm. Who else is there?
I'm always curious just where. Where did.
I think I like Gunnar Helm the best of this.
Yeah, me
list.
too.
And he's only going to fall because he ran with a twisted ankle.
Harold
Yeah.
Fanning
I really
98,
like
just
Gunnar
so we
Helm.
know.
Actually,
Me
Say that
too.
again?
I'd be okay with Gunnar Helm in the second, honestly. Now, obviously, this mock's a little bit different, but
All right, let's go. We'll go Gunnar Helm. Boom. I'm liking this so far. We got 2 5ths, 2 6ths. We still
what's
probably
their
need
big
to address safety, maybe corner. Kicker is going to be one of these picks.
not if Dom C's hanging around.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it does to me. Just so everybody can hear it here, I do not like when you don't have a viable kicker on the roster. Like, look, we still got Craig the Leg, I know, but we know we fell off a cliff. I'm not into it. What better way to get to just lock in an impact starter in the 6th round?
Preach.
Than getting your kicker.
I am in
know
full
what I mean?
agreement. Full agreement. 110%.
Makes perfect sense.
That's why I'm also
like you say, wait till undrafted free agency. But what if he doesn't want to come? Then you got to fucking fight with 31 teams or 20 teams that want him.
We're not an attractive landing spot. Get the guy while you got to lock down his rights for 4 years.
Why not?
That's right.
I'm a fan of that. Same thing with like the backup quarterback. That's kind of why I wind up pulling the trigger on McCord in a lot of these drafts. I know Tigo always gets fired up at me, but all right. So we're pick 146. We got 2 5ths, 2 6ths. Is there a way we're leaning at this point in the draft? I'll pull up safety.
Yeah.
I'm cool with
like
RJ
Bowman.
Mickens a little later at this point. I don't really know any of the other guys.
I don't like him.
No,
Yeah, well,
that's
it's just the last name. That's purely where I'm coming from with this one.
Yeah, where's my guy, Jonas Sanker? He was taken, wasn't he?
Must have been taken
It
already.
had to been
Son of a
taken.
bitch.
I think Bowman would be the move.
Yeah, I like Bowman.
All right, boom. Next position. I'm gonna throw quarterback on there just to see.
Yeah, because this is where you start thinking about Colin
we can't
McCord.
go. Yeah, we can't go one mock draft without taking Colin McCord.
That's so funny.
What other positions are we kind of thinking about here? Maybe
Well,
a
let's
double
look
dip at
at-
tight
let's-
end.
Yeah, let's look at the tight ends. Let's look at the defensive tackles. We need a few of them.
Yep.
Oh,
And we
Jackson.
lost 2 already in free agency.
I'll go interior O line too. That could be a position. Connor
Sure.
Colby's here. Jonah Monheim.
Oh man, I don't like how you're doing this. I like to look at one position at a time.
We
This
could
is
do that.
crazy for me.
Yeah,
I think interior O line should be looked at here.
Yeah. So
as
scroll
well.
down a little bit there, Ryan. Let's you can say what you got. Let's take a look here.
Miles Frazier. I know that's
Yep.
Dom C. Faith.
Yeah.
I actually spent some time looking at him last night. Yeah, Miles Frazier is a badass. He can play. I don't know. I don't know if he's. I forget.
Left guard, right guard.
Yeah.
Mostly right guard.
Okay.
Monheim is nice because he's played every position on the O line except for left guard. And he might be like starting center, and then you kick Tittman over to one of the guard spots at some point.
See what
Interior
wide
O-line in
receivers
general.
are there too.
Yeah. Yep.
Wide receiver.
Telling you, my Green Jets fan YouTube channel is the official home of the Nick Nash fan club. Everybody, see
He's
if he's
gone.
still around. He's probably gone.
Yeah, he's gone at this point.
Yeah. It really gets thin. Remember last year, like you were getting like starting level wide receivers in the 4th, 5th, 6th round last year. And this is not the same this year.
Thornton, 6'5".
Yeah, I like Dante. I was just watching him earlier today. I was looking at some breakdown of him. I like him a lot, actually. Big play guy, super strong, big, fast, deep threat.
Let's look at corner also real quick. Is there anyone jumping out at you from this list right now?
It's so small on my screen. I can barely see it.
So we got Quincy Riley, O'Donnell Fortune, Robert Longbeamer, Rutgers, Jalen Smith, Jason Marshall Jr., Fentrell Cypress II, Tommy Hill, Mac McWilliams, Cam Miller.
I know what my vote would be.
What's your vote, Matt?
Jackson Hawes.
Jackson Hawes, he's a pure blocking tight end, but a badass at it.
Yeah.
My vote would be Dante Thornton. Big, strong wide receiver, fast as hell too.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm the deciding
he's
vote.
6'4".
That's a big dude. That's a big dude. All right, I'm gonna go green bean on this one. I like adding some bodies to the receiver room.
Fair.
Want a big dude.
That's fair.
All right, do we want to take the kicker now, or do we want? Oh, McCord's still here. McCord then kicker.
Oh,
I want McCord.
No, Ryan, I want.
I know he doesn't make any sense for our fucking system, but man, I want him.
Yeah, let's not take him and see if Ryan. I want you to see what it feels like.
Tweak out.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's cool. I get it. Whatever. Sure, fine. What position we want? Let's just make sure. Yeah, he's still here. We should be able to get him at 208, I would think. Actually, I would be fine if we wanted to pull the trigger. His average draft position is 203. I would take him here just to lock him in because I don't think the difference in whatever player we're going to take next is that different.
We could go kicker.
Being any naysay on that?
I'm in it. I love it. I'm all about committing to the kicker, getting it done. And the thing is, you only got to do it once if you do it this way. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Get the best guy in the country.
Yeah. What did we pay Zerline for, a year of service? You're going to get a kicker for 4 years at like $1 million a year. Probably not even that much. I don't know what a 6th round contract is, but it's not a lot of money. Oh. All right. Let's see. Final pick of the draft. What? Miles Frazier is still here. And we didn't go interior O-line. Yeah. I'm good with that.
Okay, I like that. I like it.
Boom.
It appears we have fixed the Jets.
I don't know. We got to see on this one.
Oh, well, go fuck yourself, PFF.
Dude, if Tyler Warren... I'm so mad. They traded up to get Tyler Warren, and then Membu goes right before us.
Yeah, what can you do? But Ibuka, we're going to be the Ohio State Jets on offense.
Yep. We get the D tackle a little bit higher than I think I really want to go. I like linebacker high, especially if you trade down. I think that's a good move. I like Trapillo in the 3rd. Gunnar Helm, I think, is a nice pick there. And I'll be honest, I don't really know many of the others outside of Miles Frazier, like from a watching. I can't believe they give you an F for drafting a kicker in the 6th round. I feel like that's a joke.
Yeah, well,
I know, they're so dumb.
Bunch of bums.
Dante Thornton, pick 163, gets a fucking F.
Yeah.
What's wrong with these people?
Stupid.
Like, where are you supposed to get him? He's undraftable. Like, get out of my house.
Look, if the draft winds up that way,
have you guys watched Dante Thornton?
No, I haven't watched him at all.
I mean, it's like just put on a highlight where you'll see it. It's like he's just such a big, strong guy, but he also, when the ball's in his hands, he has that long Brad Smith stride. Remember that? Like once he got cooking, like Antonio Cromartie, like once they got cooking, it was like nobody's catching this. He's like a deer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that's what he looks like. He just pulls away from everybody. I love big, strong runners like that.
Joe M says, trade back in and get McCord.
Oh.
I want McCord. I want that to be the swing. Although I'll be honest, now that we have Fields and it seems like that's the style of quarterback play we go, McCord doesn't make any damn sense anymore. Although I do think 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐫𝐢 has a sneaky potential to get drafted at this point.
Depends on where, right?
That's my concern. Like, I don't really want to take that swing with a top 3 round pick because of like the risk involved. And like, I feel like the amount of money you give Fields, if you draft someone like a 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐫𝐢, you're kind of, I don't want to say undercutting him, but I don't know. I feel like you're burning a pick that could be used on a position that could help Fields. And there's some degree of like, I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say here?
I get it. I understand what you're trying to say.
Man, he'd be fun though. Boys and girls, we reached the end of our show here. So we get to see the spin wheel. Green Bean, how many contestants do we have tonight?
27, but I'm going to add one more. Let's make it 28. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Oh, I spelt it wrong. Okay, it's hard. Winner's tough.
Yeah, the 2 W's could get tricky.
Right. I think I had what I have there. I put an extra W, later in it. Winwer.
Winwer.
All right. So Sharon McLean already got one. I got to do another one. She's on there already. I don't like to double up on the night bots.
I feel like we should
winner
throw
is
some like random stuff on this like spin wheel, like something that's totally out of left field. Like you get a spatula. Like, damn it.
Jalen Messi, spatula.
An avocado. Thanks.
Half a dozen oranges.
What are we winning over on Talking Jets right now? Oh, geez. All right, we got 28. We're going to go on our 3rd time through. So
28 is the
Yep.
max, right?
28's the number.
Okay.
First number was 4. Second number was 1.
Oh.
Winner is 18. Who's 18, Green Bean? Ooh, Peter S says a
Jolt
dozen eggs.
Music tonight.
Who is it?
Jolt Music is the winner tonight.
Ooh,
Hey,
Jolt
that was
Music.
Jolt.
Thank you so much. I think he sent in his 10th super chat. I thought I saw that as a little note on here.
Oh, nice.
Peter S says we
See what
should
he
put a
wins.
dozen eggs on the spin wheel. I don't want to go
Yeah,
broke.
not too expensive.
We can't do that.
So let me tell you guys, we picked up 10 more chickens. My fucking dog killed my rooster on Saturday.
Oh,
Right
that one's
before
not producing any eggs. So
I know, but he protects them. You know, it's like it's nice. I have lots of foxes and shit. But we and long story short is it was the day before I put a net over the whole thing so they can't fly out.
Yeah.
One more day and he'd be alive. But we picked up 10 chickens, so now I got 16. And I got 19 eggs today.
Ooh.
Today.
That's nice. What's the smell?
What's the upkeep?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the upkeep and the smell?
Well, I have land, you know what I mean? So they're not like in my in my house, I have my house and I have a long driveway, then I have a big fire pit area. And so they're like between my fire pit and my house. So I have like an indoor coop. And like a nice run for them. We clean out the shit like probably once every month. But if especially in the summer, it gets bad. If you don't, we'll probably do it every 2 weeks in the summer, but it's not terribly bad. If you're hanging out by it, it gets bad, but it's no big deal.
There was a chicken coop on our property when we bought the house, and the previous owners were like, you can't have the chicken coop. We're taking us with us. And my wife was like, great, perfect, take it. We don't want it. And I was like, but it's kind of cool to have some chickens. And now I kind of wish I had some chickens. I don't really want to take care of chickens, but it'd be cool.
Yeah, dude, they're so easy.
In there feeding. You gotta feed them. What are you doing?
I have feeders, so I fill the feeder.
Yeah, it's probably
the
like
feeder.
a
I
hopper.
probably fill it. Yeah, well, it's like a thing. Yeah, it's got 4. It's like a bucket. So think about a 5-gallon bucket with 4 feeder holes in it. I just fill it up, and they eat out of there. But every morning I go out there, I throw them I have this little cup. I throw a scoop of chicken scratch. I put in like all kinds of mulch. My neighbor went to there. You know how they cut trees and shit for like the clear power lines.
Yeah.
He saw them doing that. He said, "Hey, where are you guys dumping the wood chips?" And they said, "Oh, what do you want them?" He said, "Yeah, dump them in our driveway." So I literally have if I was to buy it, I probably have $5,000 worth of free mulch. So I filled the whole chicken coop. So I throw the chicken scratch in there, and they spend all day doing what they love, fucking moving shit around and looking. That's what they love to do. So yeah, I do that every morning. I throw them some chicken scratch. I fill the feeder once a week, fill the water every 3 days. It's easy.
All right, not as bad as I thought.
I'm gonna wind up setting a chicken coop and pretend like hope Becca
Oh, it's
doesn't
the
notice
best.
it. It's just like, where are you getting these eggs?
Dude, they're loud.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
They're loud.
My grandparents had
always
chickens for a bit.
Fucking always making noise.
All right, let's spin the wheel. Let's see what.
Yeah.
What does he get?
T-shirt. T-shirt.
T-shirt.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey,
Joe, reach out to us. talkinjetshow@gmail.com or jetstalk247@gmail.com. Send us your shipping information, your shirt size, and what shirt you want over at talkinjets.com. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we'll send it out to you. We have reached the end of our show. Green Bean, any last words?
This was fun, everybody. The free agency is upon us. It actually starts tomorrow. But here we are nonetheless. I'm excited about it. We'll talk about why Justin Fields is going to succeed as a New York Jets starting quarterback in about 25, 29 minutes from right now. On Green Bean Jets Fan, we're going to do the After Hours Jets Fest. I hope you'll come hang out.
Matt, any last words for our panel?
Hopefully they sign someone tomorrow. Today was boring.
Yeah. I don't know who I want them to sign. Give me someone. Give me something exciting. But don't spend too much money. And make it be good. I want to solve every problem with one signing. Make it happen. Is the draft here yet? Ugh.
I wish.
Boys and girls, I cannot wait for the NFL draft. And all the fun we're going to have. If you haven't hung out with us for an NFL draft, we stream all 3 days of the draft. We get slap happy during the back half of the draft. It is super fun. Always, always, always appreciate you guys hanging out with us. As always, Joe M drops in with a final chat here. Good show, guys, as usual. Hit your likes on the way out. Boys and girls, please hit that like button. Let the people know who didn't tune in tonight that this is a show worth watching. We'll be here next week, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. JETS.
Just go somewhere else. I can't take this nonsense anymore. How are you going to blame the defense?
I got the pouch. Screw Green Bean. Damn it.
But once you get to the sausage, I feel like we're doing something.
Go Jets.
And that's the other part of it, is that people are insanely jealous of this show. This show gets the best of the best, and it does a different way, with positivity.
He scores! Ow, my head! No, come on.
What would you give up to see a Jets Super Bowl?
All of my friends and family.
Hit those milk thumbs, boys and girls.
Freeze run.
Hold on to your underwear, ladies, and stand by, bitches. It's now time for Talkin' Jets with your hosts, Matt, Ryan, and Green Bean.
Jets!